Hello everyone, I am making this short video so that I can help those of you who have not yet submitted their online gallery report. And so just to talk a little bit about this assignment, in the past I've had students go to museums, and of course they are going to these physically, they are traveling to the closest museum or gallery space, and they are to basically write about their overall experience. And that as of now, most places are closed, so we can't physically go to these museums. So what I'm going to have you guys do instead is do an online virtual gallery, and it'll be very similar to what I normally would assign in terms of the gallery report. So this is what it looks like. This is what the assignment looks like on Canvas. What you're going to end up doing is, of course, you're going to read all the details here. I'm just going to go through this website so that you guys have an idea of how to approach this assignment. So I'm clicking here, and the website is taking me to basically a list of different large museums, and I'm looking through the list of museums here, and I'm just going to pick a random one. So this is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is the online collection here, and I'm browsing through some of the work here. I'm going to pick something that I want to write about. Okay, so I would probably pick something that you are interested in, pick something that we probably discussed in class. So depending on the class that you are in, you might want to, again, pick something where you can describe them in the way that we've been learning them in class. So let's see, this one's about cubism. So we actually did a little bit of cubism, not in my drawing class, but in my 2D design class and actually just my watercolor class. And my watercolor class has talked about cubism. And so let me look for something that most of my classes have discussed. And this looks like a safe bet. It looks like a landscape. We talked about landscapes in all my classes, I think so far. So this is called, the exhibition is called The Works from the Gilded Age. And there's the name of I guess it's the curator. So for my gallery report, I'm going to say this is from the Met. This exhibition space is called Works from the Gilded Age. And I have a lot of really useful information here. And the first thing that you don't want to do is copy and paste that, okay? You don't want to submit that. Of course, you'll want to, of course, you can read about the work here, but I would probably do so afterwards. I'm just gonna look at some of the work here and find something that I like, and I can tell you already, I like that landscape painting that I see. Okay, so it has the curator's name, and you can write this stuff down in your gallery report if you like. When it comes to the gallery report, students are going to wonder, how many works of art am I supposed to write about? So you can write about one work of art with a lot of detail, or you can write about several works of art in some detail. So for me, I can easily write 3 paragraphs on one work of art here, especially if it's something that I enjoy and it's something that I can talk about with some detail or maybe a lot of detail. So this work here is An Indian Summer Day on Claverack Creek, 1877 through 1879, oil on canvas by Sanford Robinson Gifford. And so we are looking at a landscape painting, a very traditional Western style of oil painting when it comes to creating a landscape. So what are some of the ways I can describe this piece? The artist is obviously using a lot of warm color. The artist is using this atmospheric perspective that's happening in the distance. And let me see if there, okay, here it goes. So a lot of these works online have multiple views of one painting, and it helps a lot. So this is very much like looking at a painting up close. And I can see some of the gestural marks created in the branches here. So there is some hint of gestural lines. There's even hints of pointillism in terms of the way the textures are being presented. So we have a collection of warm colors underneath some brighter warm colors. And let me see if there are even more. Wow, so there are quite a few detail-oriented images here. And we are looking at that same painting, but we are seeing some of these marks up close and personal, and even more very loose gestural lines, even though from far away, it doesn't exactly appear that way. And so there's so many things that I can talk about in terms of this painting. So use as much of the vocabulary that we are using in class in your writing, and if you have to do multiple works, that's fine. But for me, I'd like to talk about one work with a lot of depth. And of course, I'm going to talk about its composition. I'm going to talk about some of the technique that I'm seeing here. And then towards the end, I'm going to talk about the subject matter, or maybe what is the content behind the piece. And so I can easily, type 3-4 paragraphs about these things that I have listed. And sometimes you can tell how old a painting is just from these cracks on the surface. Okay, and so within this exhibition, there's multiple images. You don't have to talk about every single one. So it's really up to you. So when it comes to turning this writing in, make sure that you include everything that I asked for in the rubric and turn it in before the deadline. So again, just a short video just to give you guys a heads up on this, because I noticed a few of you had questions. Hope this answered some of those. So let me know if you guys have any more questions.